GEM. So this will be kind of a very scuffed one-take video where I'm going to talk about Pure Proxies and Multisigs and how you can use them to facilitate DAO voting in Polkadot. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm seeing a lot of community members on Twitter basically ask how to set this up. Groups like Chaos DAO and Lucky Friday and the Kusumerian are using this exact setup. I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, but if you want a bit more background information about why this setup is good, I did a video like 1 year ago that goes a bit more in depth, but I'm going to try and get straight to the point in this video. At the end of this video, you will have an account setup that looks like this. So you will have a Pure Proxy, which is ultimately controlled by a multisig. This multisig is ultimately controlled by the signers of the multisig. Now, I'll briefly explain why this setup is good. So you use a Pure Proxy because the address of the Pure Proxy never changes. It means that people can delegate to the Pure Proxy, and you can change the underlying account that controls the Pure Proxy, like this multisig, for example, without having to affect your delegators. So, for example, let's say we have 3 signatories, but then your community says, hey, no, I want 5 signatories. That would change the multisig address. So if people were delegating to the multisig address, they would have to redelegate to the new multisig. It's why you use a Pure Proxy, so that you can change the account that controls the Pure Proxy without affecting your delegations. This is kind of the setup that everybody is using right now. It's a bit more complex, only a little bit though. It's the same principle at the bottom here. You have the Pure Proxy controlled by a multisig that has a lot of signatories, and people delegate to the Pure Proxy. The only difference is there is a governance proxy, which is controlled by a bot, right? This bot works on Discord. When there's a new referendum submitted on chain, it pulls that data from PokeAssembly and Subsquare and creates like a poll in a forum off chain. Community members on Discord can then vote on that off chain poll, and then after some set time, the results of that off chain vote command this governance proxy bot to then instruct the Pure Proxy to vote on chain, and then all your delegators follow that vote. I won't go too much into this bit in this video, but it'll be part of the next steps that you'll see here. So I'm going to include timestamps because people have different things they get stuck on. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to create a Pure Proxy. Then we're going to talk about how to create a multisig. Then we're going to talk about how to set the multisig as an Any Proxy to the Pure Proxy. Then we're going to remove the original Any Proxy because we're going to use like an individual account to create the Pure Proxy. I think that's a lot easier than using a multisig personally. Then we're going to talk about the next steps very, very briefly. So let's get to the on-chain part. Okay. So I'm using Kusama purely because it's cheaper to do this instructional video. The exact same process that I'm going to show you here is what you would use on Polkadot as well. It is exactly the same, okay? So we want to create the Pure Proxy first. So from the Limo account, I want to go to Developer Extrinsics on the Polkadot.js apps page, then go to Proxy, and then go to Create Pure. Leave these how they are, don't change these. There's no point to change these right now. Then go to Submit Transaction, sign and submit, put your password into your wallet, sign the transaction. And now that extrinsic worked. So there's 2 ways you can find out the address. You can either go to like Network Explorer and see this Pure Proxy Create Pure event here, but maybe you missed it, you weren't quick enough, and then it kind of goes down the list. So you can actually go to accounts, and then go to your account that you just did that transaction from, press the arrow, and then click on Subscan. So you can now see that there is this Proxy Create Pure action 24 seconds ago. So let's click on the extrinsic ID. Now we scroll down to the events section here, and you can see the Proxy Create Pure Created action here, and click the downwards arrow, and you're going to see 2 addresses, right? So the second address here is who. This is my Limo account. The one you're interested in is this Pure section here. So copy this address here. Now go to Proxied. Go back to Polkadot.js, accounts, and then press plus proxy, paste that address in, and call it like test Pure Proxy, for example, or whatever you want to call it, right? So now we have this Pure Proxy in our Polkadot.js page. So you can hover over this blue thing here and press Manage Proxies, and we can see some information, right? So we have this test Pure Proxy and the address, and the proxy account for this Pure Proxy is the Limo account, and the type is Any Proxy. So Any Proxy means that this Limo account can instruct this Pure Proxy account to carry out any transaction, including balance transfers and things like that. But what we actually want to do is add a multisig as an Any Proxy, right? So now we're going to go on to the next section, which is creating a multisig. So before I just rush into it, if you're creating a multisig with people that are not, it's not just your accounts that you're creating the multisig with, you want to go to Accounts and then Address Book, right? And you can see it's like a contacts page. And what you want to do is press Add Contact, paste in the address. I'll use Lol McShiz in this example. So let's put his name in. And you can see that it adds Lol McShiz's account here. And that's how you add people to the address book. So let's go back to accounts, and we want to make a multisig, right? So let's press plus multisig, and now you get sent to this page. So I'm just going to choose my two accounts, but you can see because I added Lol McShiz to the address book, he also appears here in the available signatories section. So it's my two accounts, the threshold is 2. It means that both of these accounts need to approve a transaction for it to actually be ultimately approved. And we're going to call the name just like test multisig. Okay, so that's the multisig created. Now what we want to do is set this multisig as an Any Proxy for the Pure Proxy. Again, remember, Any Proxy means that it can instruct this Pure Proxy to do any transaction. Now, before we do that, we need to send some amount of funds to this Pure Proxy because there'll be some amount that is reserved for this. So let me just quickly send the Pure Proxy something like 0.5 KSM or something, just so we don't have any issues. Great, so now it has the 0.5 KSM. So now let's set the multisig as Any Proxy for the Pure Proxy. So again, hover over this little blue thing here and press Manage Proxies, and then press Add Proxy. So we want to set the test multisig account as an Any Proxy. So then press Submit and sign the transaction. Great. You can see that on Kusama, this is the amount that we needed reserved, right? If we didn't send some tokens there previously, this transaction would have failed because the Pure Proxy itself needs to reserve a little bit of tokens for this transaction. So now if we go to the blue thing again and press Manage Proxies, you can see that now the Limo account is an Any Proxy, and so is the test multisig account, that is an Any Proxy as well. So now what we can do is we can test that the multisig actually works. So we can, for example here, this proxy account Limo, which is my individual account, because we're doing this for like a DAO, we probably don't want a single individual to be in Any Proxy because then they could just like steal stuff if they get hacked or something, right? So let's click this X next to Limo. That will remove that account as a proxied account. So now we can press Submit, and we can sign it from either the Limo account. This is like actually easier. But you can also test that your multisig works properly, right? So we're going to send the transaction using this proxy account, which is the test multisig account, and the signatory, the account that initiates this call is going to be Limo. Now what you want to do is you want to share this multisig call data and this call hash by pressing copy. You want to share that with the other signatories, right? It is kind of important. So then sign and submit the transaction. And now what we're going to see is a little pink thing pop up here, which is exactly what happened. This is the pending multisig transactions. So hover over it and press View Pending Approvals. So now you can see that call hash. So the other signatory should verify that that's correct and approve this call hash from the other account. You can paste this in and you can kind of see the transaction here. So you can see that it's a proxy remove proxy call. It removes Limo as an Any Proxy. So it's exactly what we expected, right? So let's approve that transaction from the Limo2 account. And after a few seconds, You can see that that reserved balance is now unreserved because it's only got one proxy now. And if you go to the blue thing again and press Manage Proxies, you can see now that the only proxy for this Pure Proxy is now the Multisig, right? So now let's go back to our previous slide. Now we have this exact setup, right? So now people in your community can delegate to the Pure Proxy account, right? And then the Multisig can now instruct the Pure Proxy to conduct transactions. This is the most basic form, right? Now, if you wanted to add an account as a governance proxy, I'm going to quickly show you how to do that as well. So when you're setting up the Discord bot, you're going to need to make a new account, right? This new account will be used by the bot to be used as the Gov proxy, right? So again, you would just like create an account in your Polkadot.js or something like that and share that with whoever's setting the bot up for you. In this case, I'm just going to show you how to set the Limo account as a governance proxy, because it's basically the same thing. So again, go to your Pure Proxy, the blue thing, Manage Proxies. Then press Add Proxy and select whichever account the bot's going to use. And in this type field, you want to click it and press Governance. This means that this Limo account can only tell the Pure Proxy to do governance-related operations. It cannot tell it to do staking operations, balance transfers, or anything outside of governance, setting identity, anything like that. It's only governance extrinsics. So let's submit that. Let's copy the call data again, share the call data and the call hash with whoever it is that's the other signatories. I'm just going to copy this for me. Sign that transaction, and the pink thing should appear here on the multisig in a few seconds. There it is. So now from the other signatory, we paste in that call data that we shared and approve it. And this will again reserve some balance. Yeah, it reserves some balance, right? So this is why you want to have some amount of tokens on this Pure Proxy. And again, if we go to the blue thing and manage proxies, you can see that we have the Limo account as a governance proxy and the test multisig as an Any Proxy. This is the setup that you want, right? This is basically this setup, right? So now you have a multisig as an Any Proxy for transfers and stuff, and you have an account as a governance proxy, which will be, in reality, it'll be the bot, right? So it's really easy to set up. So let's go back to here. Oh, no, wrong one. Let's go back to here. Okay, so that is the full explanation. That took like a bit longer than it should have done, but hopefully it's easy to understand. There's this repo that I'll link in the description. This is the repo for the governance bot, the chaos style governance bot, right? If you're competent at setting that up, you can do it yourself. It's open source. If not, you can see the links here to talk to Nandro. He's pretty active and will help you set up the Discord bot. Hopefully that helped explain how to set up that process. If we were not explaining it, it takes like less than 5 minutes to set up, right? Don't be afraid of this process. It's actually really easy. Obviously, there are tools like multisig tools, like MultiX, for example, that you can use as well to help improve it. If you guys want, I can make a video about that in the future as well. Yeah, let me know if there's any questions. Bye.